Good morning. Hi, welcome back to Wicked One Tarot. My name's Carmen, and today I was trying to figure out what our first reading would be, and I kept getting, nope, not that, until I got to Justice. And then I heard Long Arm of the Law. I didn't know it at the time, but that's a Kenny Rogers song. So maybe if you're a little bit more into that kind of music, you already know. But I looked at the lyrics and it's basically just like you can't outrun the law. So I feel like we're dealing with somebody who I feel like this is one energy. With the Nine of Swords and King of Swords in the reverse, there is something they said or did that they know is coming back to have some serious consequences for them. And I feel like this Queen of Pentacles is kind of Our Lady Justice for this reading. This is giving me vibes of somebody who was able to tempt or catch somebody in kind of like an uncompromising, we know you went against the law. Hello, how are you? Happy Friday. And in a sense, it's kind of like, I feel like they thought this Queen of Pentacles was like a dirty cop or someone without morals or someone who is willing to do the same kind of whatevery that they do. And then they found out that this Queen of Pentacles was actually much more, what's the word? Much more reliable or loyal to the law than they thought. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, pretty well. Definitely looking forward to the weekend. And let's get some more on this, but we'll call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. That was just the littlest bit of wind chime time, but hopefully those of you that have earbuds in are totally fine with that. All right, we'll use the Ghost Tarot to get a little bit more information for you. I don't know if you guys can see what I've started doing with the candle that I made where the wicks like fell in. Now I'm just like lighting the bottom of a little candle and sticking it in there. All right. I hope you're proud of me. I have real candles arriving like I think tomorrow. We have the Six of Wands and the Knight of Cups in the reverse. This is interesting. Six of Wands is definitely giving me vibes of somebody that maybe celebrated a little bit prematurely. I don't know why. I never get that vibe, but with this particular Six of Wands, instead of having somebody that's like riding in all successfully on their horse, it's just a dude who looks like he's trying to emulate the Seven of Wands, where somebody is generally standing above those that are trying to attack them. So I feel like somebody jumped the gate here. Somebody thought that they'd gotten away with something, but they really haven't. And with the Knight of Cups in the reverse, the way this cup is kind of just like discarded and not really like usually the knight has it in his hand, right? I feel like somebody thought they had successfully framed another person or gotten rid of whatever evidence might point back to them. But even this little stone that I set on this deck is pointing right at the Six of Wands character. So I feel like somebody thought they got away with it, and now they know they didn't. Now they know they've forgotten some key piece of information will go right back to them. We have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. This is often a card, if it's in the upright, that can speak of independence. Somebody is seriously worried that they are not going to have their independence. So this is a legal situation. So this isn't going to be for everyone, all right, you guys? Here is the Nine of Pentacles. And again, this one's in the reverse. And what I see is like somebody did something for money or prestige here. And what I see with this card in the reverse is somebody, I don't know if you can see the little, there's butterflies. Somebody being turned upside down and change falling out of their pocket. So it's like somebody embezzled money, somebody tried to, I don't know, fudge their taxes, and they're being caught, and whatever they took is being returned to its rightful owner. Hello, Jimmy. And I wonder if you might be the rightful owner. Seven of Chalices and the Wheel of Fortune. Somebody wanted to steal from you and thought that they could create some sort of facade or illusion to cover their tracks, but it hasn't worked. Like this, I don't know if you want to call this like the ghost tail or trail, but it's almost like looking like smoke to me. I feel like this is somebody realizing they left something behind, realizing they did not do as good a job as they thought they did. We have the Nine of Wands, and it's such an unusual Nine of Wands in this deck as well. So we've got, instead of somebody who's standing in front of a lot of different rods or wands or fighting instruments, we have somebody who's guarding a castle. And it's with the Ten of Wands. Wow. Progression. This is somebody guarding the secret or whatever they've stolen, knowing that there is somebody with that Ten of Wands that is approaching. Do you see their castle? Can't avoid the long arm of the law. Somebody here is caught, and it's like they can smell the charges that are about to be levied upon them, or they just know that somebody's like watching them, right? I don't know if you've ever seen the show Justified, but it's one of my parents' favorites. So I started watching it, and number one, Timothy Oliphant, right? Right. But there's this situation he finds himself in where he's being watched. And it feels almost like that, except for, Timothy Oliphant's character is just a little bit more innocent than whoever I'm reading here. We have Child, Change, and Journey. This is giving me vibes of kind of what I already said. Somebody thought that they were able to. Yes, exactly. It's my lunch money. You can't have it. I really need to eat lunch. My favorite thing in high school to eat for lunch, which is really lame, is I would have a bagel with like cheese. I think they literally just called it white cheese, melted on it. Isn't that lame? Anyways, we have somebody who assumed they had been found innocent. I don't necessarily want to preclude that there may be a child involved here. This could be like a child custody situation, or some sort of, how much are you going to have to pay, where somebody thought that they were victorious and they were not. Somebody thought they would be found innocent, or that their story would be seen as fact. And with Journey and Change, what I really get here is that there's somebody that didn't think Journey, someone would go the extra mile, long arm of the law, to find out what actually happened, or to do the due diligence It's if you have seen that show Justified, there are a couple of situations where our hero decides to dig a little deeper and finds out that somebody is, framing up the situation. In particular, I'm thinking about the episode with, um, God, what is the fancy word for it? There's a woman who teaches people how to ride horses. And that's the episode that I'm thinking about. It's pretty early on in the series. I think it's the first season, might be the second, but not one of those situations where you can take everyone's word for what they say, right? Yep. Yeah. And with change, somebody is realizing they might have to downgrade. They might have to leave whatever comfort they have. And this is right underneath the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, which was giving me vibes of somebody no longer being independent. This could be somebody realizing they don't have the finances to live on their own, or literally they have to go to the big house. We have mature man in the reverse. Somebody was being fanciful or unrealistic when they concocted whatever this scheme up was. We've got lovers. You may at one point have been in a relationship with this person, or this person was working with somebody that they were entangled with. This is under the Seven of Cups. So I think in some regard, we have an amorous relationship that was leveraged to distract or manipulate information to make it seem like somebody had done something that they hadn't. This could be somebody betraying their own, former partner or current partner, someone in a third party trying to get rid of, one of the others. But we have a message of concern regarding the family room. So I do feel like there was some sort of theft or some sort of issue that took place in the house. Because remember, this person is guarding the castle. All right. I hope you guys don't hate it that I crack my knuckles like that. If you hadn't noticed, it's kind of like what I do when I'm pondering which tarot deck to pull next. We're going to use the Egyptian tarot. She's been getting a workout this week, but I love this particular set of cards for justice pertaining or justice related readings. Probably because I quite often think of Ma'at, and here's Bast, which, if you don't know, is the tattoo that I have that is not a skeleton. All right, as far as the arms, we've got Eight of Pentacles clarifying the child. Someone put in a lot of work and thought that they would be able to get a pretty significant financial reward for it. Or this person that's putting in this Eight of Pentacles work is actually somebody who was investigating, right? This could be the Queen of Pentacles that I think is loyal and responsible. Somebody that if you tell something to and you say, please don't share that with anybody, they're going to abide by that. And then we have the King of Pentacles with the Four of Wands in the reverse. This feels like somebody who was materialistic and very focused on making money, but they didn't realize they were on a shaky foundation. The Four of Wands in the reverse can absolutely mean that we've got like a marriage that ended, but that doesn't have to be the case for all of you. What I mostly see, particularly because we have somebody that is guarding the castle and an issue that happened in the family room, what I see is something with the scarab beetle in the middle of the Four of Wands. Something happened of import inside of this castle or inside this family room to something or someone that this King of Pentacles cares about or claims to care about. We have the Queen of Wands and the Moon. So it's interesting that we have the Moon underneath the Seven of Cups, because this can often allude to somebody who has maybe been drinking too much, or somebody that has fallen for some sort of illusion. There's a lack of clarity. But with the Moon, we have something that has been hidden coming out. So some sort of secret pertaining to an immature masculine energy is coming out. And it could be, with the Queen of Wands, it could be pertaining to sexual energy. Or this Queen of Wands is who's guarding this castle, but that's not really what I'm feeling. I feel almost like somebody convinced somebody else to do something. Like this Queen of Wands convinced the immature man to do something. It's something about how she's kind of like directing with her hand, right? Like, do that. Yeah, that's how we get our money. Again, I keep thinking of that Justified episode, and it was the feminine energy that was directing the criminal activity. So for some of you, this was someone trying to take advantage of a divorce situation, someone trying to take advantage of an existing third party, like still in a relationship with somebody, but somebody's caught on. Somebody knows what actually happened. We have Strength in the reverse under the Lovers and the Wheel of Fortune. There's information that's come out regarding somebody in a romantic relationship or wanting a relationship that sought to cause an ending with the Five of Swords. Somebody was really determined to split two people up. Somebody was not willing to give up on a particular outcome, even when they knew what they were doing was not a good idea, or that they did not have the right tools, the right situation to pull off what they were trying to do. That's a good thing, I think, especially because we're talking about justice, right? So let's see what else we get on this family room. Justice. High Priestess in the reverse. The first thing that I get off of these two cards is that we have somebody that was trying to present themselves as, I get the word pious, or maybe even reserved. Somebody that was trying to act like they had the insight or the information on something difficult that had happened, when in reality, High Priestess in the reverse, they were the one that did the whole thing themselves. So again, with the scarab beetle being really prominent for me, there's somebody pretending to care or pretending to have done right by somebody that they loved or they said they loved, and they're being called out or exposed as this High Priestess in the reverse, somebody who did something against their better judgment, against somebody they used to love. Now I'm hearing that Gautier song, which explains why I was totally obsessed with Kimbra yesterday. If you guys don't know that song, somebody that I used to know, definitely has some sort of bearing here, along with that Kenny Rogers song, Long Arm of the Law. And I feel like it's somebody that you thought would never do something like this to you because you had shared a close relationship was planning something pretty unforgivable here or did something unforgivable and they've been caught. All right, we're going to use the Crow Tarot to continue. You have, I don't know, man, that's one of my favorite songs. I think it's like maybe 10 years old. And it's still so beautiful. And I like the music video for it too. I'm an artist, so of course I love that kind of shit. So we have the Four of Pentacles and the King of Swords decidedly coming out sideways. And I believe we have the symbol for Lilith here. You may want to check out the reading I did the other day. Lilith was the image, it was one of the Dark Goddess Oracle cards, but Lilith was the first card I pulled in that reading. It feels to me like somebody thought with this Four of Pentacles that they could, this looks like somebody trying to steal. I don't normally see the Four of Pentacles that way, but I feel like somebody was trying to hide assets or money or property. And with the King of Swords coming out sideways, despite their words, despite trying to control the narrative here or make it seem like there wasn't an issue, there was definitely something uncovered that was untruthful. There are 5 feathers at the bottom of this throne. I've never really noticed that before, but I feel like the number 5 is important in some way. Like somebody said there was only 4 and there was actually 5. Like they were trying to hide something. We have the Ace of Swords in the reverse, dishonesty. And the Nine of Swords again. And that was one of the first cards that I pulled for you guys. So somebody knows that whatever lie they've told or whatever fabrication they were using to try to frame somebody else, that shit's rolling right back downhill onto them. They've been caught. They're having trouble sleeping at night. They're having nightmares about what potential outcome awaits them. They feel trapped. It may be as a result of this Queen of Cups. Now I'm really starting to feel like this feminine energy was the one who really put together this plan. Not only did we have the Queen of Wands and the Moon come out together underneath the Seven of Cups, but we also now have the Queen of Cups and the Magician in the reverse. This is a feminine energy that is really good at pretending to be caring. This is somebody that would be able to, kind of soften their voice when they need to. So I don't know if you guys have heard kind of a variation in my voice, but I think in general I have kind of a baritone or like a lower voice. And if I'm talking to, let's say, like my kittens, right? I'm like, oh, you're just so cute. And there's like a huge difference, right? I feel like somebody purposefully changes their voice to sound more innocent or to sound more like I need to be rescued. I don't know why, but what popped into my head was the princess from Nintendo. Like, oh, little old me, I could never be a murderess. But we have the Magician in the reverse. This is somebody who does things with ill intent against others and tries to hide it. But that shit's coming out. Can't avoid the long arm of the law. Mr. Kenny Rogers said so. Mr. Kenny Rogers never lies. We have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a card that can mean imprisonment. We have Strength in the reverse. Somebody has not been able to tame a beast. And I think the beast is this Queen of Wands. I think whoever this person that was in a relationship with or is in a relationship with this Queen of Wands was unable to handle her greed or whatever she wanted to do. And with the Eight of Swords, they may end up going to jail, or this Queen of Wands may end up going to jail. But somebody is feeling like they don't know what they don't know. They don't know who they can trust. We have the Star in the reverse. There's a lack of hope. It's like somebody is seeing the writing on the wall. They realize now that they were maybe used by this Queen of Wands. With the Hierophant, there is some challenge here pertaining to somebody's spiritual beliefs or morals. Feels to me like somebody is trying to come off as virtuous, but being exposed as very much so not. Like, look at this scene here, you guys. It's like somebody with the crow at the top here. He's like, look at me, I'm so amazing. I am just holy and worthy of worship. And then these two crows at the bottom are like, you believe this guy? Ain't nothing worthy of worship about this guy. Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure he's a murderer. Get it? Murder of crows? I'm so funny. Good morning, Miss Moon Goddess. Yeah, so somebody has failed. Oh, I should have used Edgar Allan Poe for that. There's still time, you guys. We have the World with a Christmas wreath. I feel like this whole nasty thing is going to be wrapped up by the holidays. Somebody is going to be vindicated and somebody is going to be imprisoned or spiritual jail. Who knows? That's not necessarily any better by the end of the holidays. All right, we have to use the Edgar Allan Poe, don't you think? For those of you that don't know, that's one of my favorite authors. And the Telltale Heart is one of the first, there's one that's flipped over, one of the first pieces of literature that I did like a deep analysis on, because I love books. So we have the Fool in the reverse that was stuck before I even shuffled in the wrong way. And I feel like that applies because clearly somebody here was foolish. What else do we have? We have the Tower and the Knight of Pentacles. This may have been a really, oh girl, I don't know why. That's crazy. So we've got the Tower and the Knight of Pentacles. This may have taken a while. And look at, we've got broken glass everywhere. There was a burglary or something that happened in a home. Because you guys, look at, we have, again, a scarab beetle. Something that you care about was taken from you or destroyed, and it was in somebody's home. You may have a love of animals like I do, because I'm noticing these adorable little pets. But there's something that took a long time to prove, or something that is finally emerging. I see this like blood moon as some kind of betrayal that is being exposed. And again, we have in a castle. So if you're dealing with something like this, the truth is about to come out. High Priestess in the reverse, again. Somebody thought they could manipulate the situation and that they would not be found out. 5 of Wands in the reverse. They didn't expect a battle. And maybe they didn't actually see much of the investigation. So that could explain why we had that 6 of Wands that really just felt like a premature declaration of victory here. We have the Ace of Wands, and I feel like what's coming off of this is we've got new life in an investigation or a new perspective. There's a new target, but we also have somebody that's going to be able to have a new beginning and have what they need going forward because their name is being vindicated, or they're getting what they need from this investigation in terms of some sort of like financial win. We have the 4 of Cups. All right, I want to make sure you guys can see this. Should I hold up my birthday cake homemade candle? Here we go, you guys. Can you see that? All right, kind of. So there's a guy laying on a couch, like he's in, talking to the therapist. And I don't know if you can see it. I got to hold it up really close. Look at his facial expression. He's like freaking out. And the guy who's listening to him is he's sitting there like, really? They don't believe whoever this person is, this High Priestess in the reverse. They may be trying to change their story slightly because they got caught in one particular detail and nothing adds up. It doesn't make sense. Yes, brainwash is a great way to describe it because that's like somebody feeling like they have the ability to do this 7 of Cups and confuse you, like a magician, like, I'm making you look over here and then I'm over here doing something. What's up? Didn't work for this person. We have the Hermit. Somebody has gained a new perspective or has done some research on their own. And I wanted to put it right next to the family room. This feels like somebody who actually visited the site and saw something out of order. 9 of Swords. I think this is the 3rd time we've had this come out. This is driving someone crazy. They know they've been caught. They don't know what the consequences are going to be. Magician. Somebody was playing with shit they didn't know anything about. Now, does this actually mean magic? Maybe. But I think more importantly, somebody was trying to get away with something and make somebody else look like they had done it. And that's just rude, 10 of Swords in the reverse. But we have healing from a betrayal happening for the person that I'm reading for. So this Judgment may be a very freeing or a giant relief for somebody, right? Because we've got somebody who's been stuck in this 8 of Swords energy, feeling like they couldn't get anybody to listen or agree. And it feels like the tables have turned. So now somebody is realizing, okay, this isn't going to be as bad because now they see what actually happened. And the person who was trying to screw me over is actually now in that 9 of Swords or 8 of Swords situation where they don't know what's going to happen. Well, that's called fuck around and find out. Somebody is finding out. All right, we're going to pull a couple situation cards, and then I think we'll call it since we're at about 35 minutes for you guys. But we might see the legal card come out from this. So let's see. That's basically the Nine of Swords in this deck, you guys. Mental prison. Somebody is freaking out. With this particular card, I usually get more of like somebody who's, thinking about that first kiss or reminiscing about a date. But this is somebody realizing, oh, I fucked that up. I did something, and that's why they know I did it. This is somebody remembering they did something wrong that they cannot fix. TikTok. This is not good. Somebody knows their days of freedom are numbered because this is underneath the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. Somebody knows they're losing their freedom. We have waves. Holy shit, you guys. We have waves. So it's like somebody is kind of having panic attacks because we have waves here. Then we have bounty hunter. Somebody may have run. Not a good idea. That bounty hunter has a little sheriff's thing there. Badge. I hate that word. But they're being chased. They're already identified as the person of interest here. We have come together in the reverse. If there was a tawdry relationship that inspired this crime or this theft, they are not working well together. They are not on good terms. They have turned against each other. And now we have some sort of conversation that's going to be happening that I think is possibly along the lines of turning on each other, right? Okay, finally, I'll give you the full story. Here's what actually happened. And then bam, case closed. So because they aren't cooperating, meeting in the reverse, because they didn't plan their stories out, somebody is getting caught. Single. If they were in an amorous relationship before, they aren't anymore. We have magnetic unresistible pull, and I wanted to put it underneath the lockdown. So I feel like there's something here where somebody's intuition may have helped, like an investigator, figure out what in the castle or the family room situation they needed to look for. Then we have lost. Something has been found. So if something had been stolen, they may have actually located that item. Let's say it's like a wedding ring or something. They found it, and they found it where the person who took it left it, and it made them look real guilty. And with the love affair, there's some sort of secret pertaining to sex or a relationship that has also been discovered or helped this person discover whatever item was missing. Ascension. And now we have somebody who has, I think this is you, gone through this whole ordeal, maintained who you are as a person and not, let yourself go back to anger or live in that pain. And you're getting blessed. You're getting good karma. You're likely going to, from the situation, benefit financially in some way. Some of you may be able to like write a book and then you make money off of it. Some of you might actually get a settlement, something along those lines. These are the Zodiac fortune telling cards. You are too good for your own good. So you might need to work a little bit on those boundaries. Don't give so much advice. It causes hard feelings. Wow, if I was represented in a card, this might be it. You want to make sure that if you're helping friends, that they're the kind of friends that listen, right? There's some friends that I have that I talk about this with, and there's some friends that I don't talk about this with. Like there's sometimes varying tiers, right? Or levels. You will suffer a great loss, but will overcome your grief. So I feel like this is what we're talking about, but there could be a difficult situation ahead. This feels more like what you've already been dealing with, and you've got wealth inherited from an unexpected quarter. I told you, karma. If you've maintained who you are throughout this process and stayed faithful, number one, I feel like that's partially why we have somebody finally getting justice here. But number two, you're also going to have some sort of, hey, good work. We really appreciate you. Winning lottery ticket, or maybe someone accidentally gives you a laptop, or you get shipped two things for your Christmas present instead of one and nobody notices. So you just get double the awesome. Well, that's because you're double the awesome. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I will probably be back shortly here for another reading with you guys, but I hope you have a lovely Friday and I'll see you later.